and here. Now, I got a great guest for you. I've been wanting to get this guy on for a long time. I've been following him. I'm going to screw up his name when I say it, but I'm going to have him say it so that we know we get it right. Have you seen online the brand I'm That Jew? Have you seen it? Millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions of views. I'm That Jew. The guy who started it is Eitan Chitayat. I think I got his last name wrong. I think I got his first name right.
You
But
completely butchered it.
I did butcher it, but I want to give it to me the right way.
Eitan Chitayat from Israel. Shalom, Shabbat Shalom.
Eitan Chitayat.
Perfect.
All right, good. I love the brand. I love what you're doing. I love the empowerment. Politics aside, what makes peace in the Middle East aside, there is a need for what you're doing, so it's good. Also, joining us is former U.S. Special Envoy to Israel and Palestine, and I want to bring him in also, Frank Lowenstein. It's good to see you, Frank. Thank you for joining us again. Appreciate you. Important to have you in the conversation. Why did you start I'm That Jew? What have you learned about what the conflict in Israel is doing to Jews around the world?
Thank you, Chris. First of all, thank you for having me. I appreciate the opportunity to speak. You remember Charlie Hebdo? It was a massacre, and at the same time of the massacre,
I was there.
A kosher supermarket was targeted and Jewish shoppers were killed. A friend of mine, a dear friend of mine, her father-in-law and her brother-in-law were at that supermarket, and she lived in France. I called on the day to just check in and say, how are you doing? And she said, I'm terrified. And I said, why? And she said, because I don't tell anyone I'm Jewish. I don't tell anyone that I've ever been to Israel. And so we spoke a little bit, and then afterwards I sat down and I thought to myself, how can it be, Chris, that in 2014, I believe it was, that you can be afraid to say that you're Jewish? So I sat down and I wrote a piece called I'm That Jew, which actually a lot of people think is an expression against anti-Semitism, but it isn't. It was kind of a love letter to my Jewish brothers and sisters and our allies to remind everyone of who we really are. And the reason why I did it was because, look, we're only 16 million people. We're only 16 million people in the world. That's 0.2% of the population. So believe it or not, a lot of people don't know who Jewish people are. And I wanted people to know who we are. But in order for us to get people to know us, we have to own our narrative. And I feel that because we're outnumbered by a lot of haters, if you look at, unfortunately, I mean, the sad fact is that of the 1.6 or 2 billion Muslims there are in the world, a lot of Muslim leadership, which is radical, preaches hatred towards the Jews, and they've got the numbers. So my idea was, you know, we've got to own our narrative. I own my narrative. You don't get to tell me who I am. I'm a Jew. Just like a white person doesn't tell a black person what their narrative is. A straight person doesn't get to tell a gay person what their narrative is. A man doesn't get to tell a woman what their narrative is. And anyone who is not Jewish doesn't get to tell us who we are. So that's why I made it. I turned it into a short 6-minute film. And the reason that it's 6 minutes long is to commemorate 6 million Jews, to commemorate them. And it went viral around 12 years ago with 15 million views. But since then, I've been working, especially in the last year, I've just stopped doing what I do for a living, and I've doubled down on, branding is my day job, but being Jewish is my life. So I've doubled down on that. I want people to get to know us, and I want Jewish people and our allies to speak up and to not be afraid. I'm that Jew. I'm that forever with my people Jew. I'm that lights up a room Jew. I'm that brand builder Jew. I'm that sugar and spice, naughty but nice Jew. I'm that speaking to Chris Cuomo, who I really admire as a human being Jew. I'm that Jew. And the thing is, everyone who is Jewish can own whatever Jew they want to be. But other people do not get to determine who we are, and we're fighting back. And that's what I'm That Jew is all about.
Well, look, I think it's very compelling. I do think, Frank, that's something that we've learned, that maybe I'm the one, I'll point the finger just at me. I had assumed that Jews in America, unless they were brown-skinned, had graduated into whiteness, the way my people have, the Italian Americans, Irish Americans. We're just white people now, right? I'm a member of the group of privilege in this country. Jews have not graduated to whiteness, not even in America. I think that's become fairly obvious. Now, let's talk about the pushback to the proposition, which is, Frank, hey, you don't want people to come after you. Stop bombing the heck out of Gaza and now stop bombing the heck out of Beirut, and people won't be so upset with you. How do you handle that proposition, Frank?
Well, first of all, I really commend Eitan for his work. I think that's fantastic. I look forward to watching myself. The one thing I would say about anti-Semitism, I think the experience of Jews varies. Can't speak to Jews as a monolithic community here in the United States. I think anti-Semitism is more of an issue for some than it is for others. The only question that I would raise is to what extent is Netanyahu delegitimizing any criticism of his government under the guise of anti-Semitism? And so I believe strongly in combating anti-Semitism. I think Biden's done a good job on that. I think Kamala Harris's husband has been a real point person on that. And that should be leaned into as much as possible. But we also have to draw a line between criticism of the most right-wing government in the history of Israel, right, that has done some things that I think most people would agree are sort of over the line. Biden has certainly said that. Not to make it impossible to criticize legitimately the behavior of Netanyahu because it's anti-Semitic. And that's line that's gotten blurred a little bit.
May I say something about that?
Oh, no, go ahead. Go ahead, please.
Look, I've never voted Netanyahu in my life. I'm not a Netanyahu hater. But there are Jews who are, voting for, Netanyahu or for Bennett. What you said about the Jewish makeup, I know a guy called Abraham Hamra, who's a Syrian Jew. I have Ashkenazi Jews, people from Poland. I myself, just so that you know, I'm kind of olive-skinned. My father, God bless him, he's a 95-year-old Iraqi Jew who's thrown out of Iraq, like 150,000 Iraqis. My mother is a Bulgarian Jew. People don't know us. We have all sorts of Jews. And you can have whatever, you can be on the left, you can be on the right, you can be Ashkenazi, you can be Sephardi, you can be a Republican, you can be a Democrat, you can be for Netanyahu. The stereotype of the Jew guys is we're all about land, we own the banks, we own Hollywood. No, that is not true. We are 16 million beautifully unique individual stereotypes, 0.2% of the population, but all 16 million of us are giving anti-Semitism and Jew hatred the middle finger right now. And we're going to keep going. And we need good people in the world with values, because what being Jewish to me is about values. That's what being Jewish is. I'm not a religious Jew. One of the most public Jews right now is from New York City. His name is Shai Davidai, a Columbia professor. And I'd recommend you have him on the show. He's completely atheist. It's based on the values of the Torah, which are precious to us, but people don't know us enough. So this is why I thank you for giving me this platform. And this is why this is so honking loud, guys. I'm in Israel. I'm hoping that there's not going to be any sirens tonight. But I was for 9 days in LA. I was in Detroit. I was in New York City, and I was in Montreal, and I was walking around with this shirt, and I got nothing but love, because when we wear our Jewish identity, we get love.
Well, listen, I'm here for it. As I tell people all the time who thank me for the arguments I make about what's happening in the Middle East, I wish it weren't necessary. But I'm just doing the job. And I'm absolutely going to keep doing it no matter what comes along with it, because that's what I signed up for. Eitan, it's very good to have you. You're welcome back. And Frank, always a pleasure. Thank you very much. Good Shabbos to both of you. And to be continued. All right.
Thank you. I'm that Jew.
That's